Now, if you have watched my recent videos where I've discussed all the database services that AWS offers us, one last database that is left, can you guess it? Okay, let me give you a clue. It's related to caching. Now, can you guess it? No? Okay, let me walk you through it by describing the common problem, or we can use a word factor that is common in all the databases. And the special part here is that you will not face this problem in your application until it grows to hundreds or thousands of user traffic. And the problem is latency and cost at scale. Now, it's not something that you have done something wrong with your database by defining the data model, or it's not that you have done something wrong in queries of your code base. Whatever you have done at your database level or at your application level can be feasible at its max level and can be well tested. But this is something which is by its nature a problem of database in itself. Each time when a user tries to perform CRUD operation at your application space, it gets connected and affected all the way to your database server. And most of the time, in most of the application use cases, the common operations that user perform is, you can say, read operation or select operation, where user tries to fetch the data which is stored at your application database through your application. And the most interesting part here is that whenever a user tries to fetch data, that data maybe have already fetched by some another user in past, or maybe some user is trying to perform the same operation or trying to fetch the same data at some another location. But because of the nature of the way database works, the same data gets fetched all the way from database to the user screen each time a user tries to fetch it. And any of this is not a problem at a small scale. But when your application grows with potentially millions of users and all the users are using your application, handling this data even becomes nightmare for big MNCs and unicorns. So to solve this problem, intelligent people of the world came up with a solution called in-memory database, a completely new set of database which stores the frequently asked data at your application level itself, so that it doesn't need to get fetched each time all the way through database point. And this all happens by using the power of cache. And if you're thinking that based upon whatever I explained, you need two databases for your application, well, technically that is true, because in-memory databases are not meant to store data permanently. For that, it requires a primary database point. But even still, if you use this kind of architecture into your application at a larger scale, this saves a lot of your server cost and also reduces the latency of your application, where user tries to fetch the data and it gets that data even faster, which increases the performance of your application. And the major two players in this market segment, which are Redis and Memcached, are highly accepted and used across all over the world. But what AWS has to offer us is much better and feasible supportive version of in-memory databases through its services, Amazon ElastiCache. And arguably, this is the last service of AWS database services, period. ElastiCache is a high-performance analytics and serverless database which works with your new or existing Redis or Memcached database by leveraging the power of AWS infrastructure. Some highlighting features of ElastiCache are: first, multi-AZ deployment; second, serverless cache storage to meet the requirement at any scale; third one, microsecond response time across millions of operations per second. If you are fascinating with these kinds of concepts, and if you want to know more about this, then I would highly recommend you to check out official websites of Redis and Memcached. And the special part about the Redis is that the team of Redis understand this problem, that it can become sometimes challenging and difficult to handle two databases for single application. So they came out with the concept called Redis Cloud, where now you can use the same Redis database as your primary database and as your in-memory database. So you can check out their official websites to know more about it. And of course, for Amazon ElastiCache, you can refer AWS official documentation for deeper understanding of the concept, because it's not possible to understand the complete concept with all the nuances in few minutes video. And with that, if you find this video useful, make sure to hit that like button and share this video with your friends so that they can also get a daily dose of AWS.